more than a trend.
Yeah.
We're forever a part of the culture. HBCU Pulse always has you on lock. From the shade room to your favorite news feed, and now on your TV and radio. We are the #1 outlet for HBCU culture. Follow HBCU Pulse on social media and visit hbcupulse.com to stay up to date on what's going on in the HBCU community.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Randall Barnes, founder of HBCU Pulse, host of HBCU Pulse Radio, in the building for a special interview for the HBCU Experience Movement in promotion of their new book, The HBCU Experience, the HBCU Dance Edition, in the building. I'm not even gonna lie to you, man, I'm fresh today. I'm not even gonna lie. I am, man, haircut, Fort Valley repping, we in the Beach Bowl, talking to a Tuskegee alum. Come on. It's too, we clean out here. We too clean out here. We got Miss Jonice Watts in the building talking about her time at Tuskegee and the amazing work that she's been doing, and also her amazing college journey. She's in the building right now. How you doing today?
I am satisfied, whole, and fulfilled. How are you?
I feel amazing because listen, tomorrow Fort Valley's in the Florida Beach Bowl. We're out here. Tuskegee got us. Y'all got us this year. All right, in the Red Tusk Classic.
Are you sure it was just this year or
you're talking about old history. We're talking about the sample size of 3 years, 2-1. All right, what are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? Because Tuskegee been good. Listen, running the ball with Slater, y'all was running the ball with Comedy. Listen, we can understand that. But we talking about these past 3 years, 2 wins. And y'all got it this year. Y'all got it this year, though. I'll give you that.
I haven't been keeping up, so I can't even talk about sports. Honestly, I only remember when I was playing, and I know we whooped when we were playing you all. Well,
since you have been keeping up, Fort Valley's leading now. All right, so you have been keeping up. You know, don't check the facts. We just been leading. Just don't check them. All right.
Yeah, let me check the sports facts before I comment.
I love it. I love it. But listen, I'm super excited to have you on, especially an SIAC graduate, because, you know, our group of schools, oftentimes, I think we don't get enough love for what we do, although Tuskegee is one of, you know, the best HBCUs in the nation. So I want you to really quickly tell everybody who you are.
Of course. Well, you all already know my name, Jonice Watts. I always tell people that my last name reminds me of where I come from, right? If you aren't familiar, Watts is in Los Angeles, California, and I am from Los Angeles, California, and my father's side lives in Watts. They were in the Watts riots, so it just reminds me of my family history and to never forget where I come from. But I went to the illustrious Tuskegee University for undergrad and graduate school. So I received my bachelor's and master's in animal and poultry science with a concentration in breeding and genetics. I wanted to be a vet originally, but God had a different plan for me. And so now I am a steward of the land. I'm multidimensional, but that is what I am currently doing. So I just recently moved back to Tuskegee 4 months ago to start my farm, and I will be starting it in the spring. But I also work with the university as a program coordinator. I'm a yoga instructor, a motivational speaker. Like I said, I'm multidimensional, but one of the main things that I am destined to do is illuminate the people. And so I'm so grateful to be able to do that today in this interview. So thank you for the opportunity. I truly appreciate that.
I love it. Listen, you do a lot. We talk about the Fort Valley Tuskegee thing, but this is what graduates from our group of schools in the SIEC, this is what we do. We make things happen. You got Morehouse, we got Tuskegee, you got Fort Valley. We got all these different schools, even Albany State, you know, because you already know how Fort Valley and Albany State rock. But we all doing it. We all are making it happen. But I gotta say this, I was looking at your bio. So you're Farmer Bay? Is that for real? Is that a thing, Farmer Bay?
That's a thing.
Okay.
I am Farmer Bay, and the Bay stands for badass environmentalist.
Okay. Okay,
Yes.
okay. Let me ask this to start off interview. Where did that come from? Because we hear Bay all the time, but it has a purpose behind the Bay this time. So where did that come from?
Everything has purpose, but sometimes we just don't take the time to figure out the purpose or the meaning. And so when I started this journey in 2018, I was posting myself driving tractors with the cows, with the goats, etc. And one of my dear friends from high school started to call me Farmer Bay every time she would see me post something. And I'm like, you know what? I need to trademark that. And so it became my brand, my nickname. And fast forward, I was talking to another friend, and he was like, you should create an acronym, right? And so we sat there and just brainstormed about different things. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to make it simple. I'm going to merge who I was and who I am. So I used to be a badass. And now, because I've evolved, and one of the things that I share with people, if you surrender, you will do what God and your ancestors have destined you to do. So that is why I added the environmentalist part, because my ancestors were stewards of the land, and they protected, cultivated, preserved, and sustained the land for generations to come. And so that is what I'm destined to do. And so the Bay reminds me of who I used to be, because we sometimes don't celebrate who we used to be. We'll beat that younger self up for not doing this and not doing that. But at the end of the day, if we knew what we knew now, we wouldn't have did it, but we didn't know. So that is why we did what we did. And so I started to learn how to celebrate and cherish who I used to be. And that is one of the reasons why I made sure I incorporated that in my new identity.
I love it. Listen, hey, that was listen, you reading me right now, because you're talking about when you're young and you start beating up things you didn't do. Oh my God. When I tell you, like, we're gonna get into the interview, but let me just say this is so appropriate, because like you got you like your Apple Music Wrapped and your YouTube Music, all the different stuff, and it shows you what artists you've listened to and what songs you listen to. You know, one of my top songs this year, I think it's number 2 behind William Murphy, "I Forgive Me" by James Fortune. You know what I'm saying? That's my number 2 song of the year.
Forgive Me. Hold on, let me write that down.
By James Fortune. See, James Fortune need to send me a check, okay? Because like, that's the song. All right, that is the song. "I Forgive Me" by James Fortune. Like, just it's the whole entire thing where it's like he's breaking it down and talking about how, listen, you can't think about what happened in your past. You have to move forward. You got to let go. It's a beautiful song. And I heard it for the first time this year. And I think it came out maybe 2017, 2018 when I was in college. I needed it back then. So, you know.
Wow. And that just made me think about my favorite gospel song. And no, it's not a Kirk Franklin song. "The Best in Me."
Oh, see, you take me back to college, like, 'cause my senior year
makes me cry every time I hear it. Right.
My senior year, that senior year, like that, like the graduate, because I graduated in the fall semester. So like that fall semester of 2019, I was playing that nonstop, November, December. Oh my gosh. Like Marvin Sapp be in his bag too. He didn't make my top 5 artist. Okay. He probably number 7, okay? Because I got hip hop up there too. But like, you know, that's R&B up there too. All right. But he was definitely there, because like those different songs, they motivate you. They make it happen. Like they give you that energy to push forward. So let's push forward in the interview, and let's start with this. So you have all this, you know, just amazing things that you're doing, but it started at Tuskegee University. So what made you choose Tuskegee as your HBCU?
That is a quality question. So Tuskegee chose me. Okay. So this is just such a unique story, because a lot of people, they know where they want to go or have an idea of where they want to go. I was not thinking about college until my senior year. So I didn't think about going to USC, UCLA like other people, because honestly, I never liked school. I was always the class clown. I should have been a comedian, honestly, but God didn't destine me to be a comedian, but I still make people laugh every now and then. But yeah, so my senior year, that's when I was like, oh, what am I going to do now? It's about that time to figure it out because I'll be graduating soon. And so I only applied to California schools. But if you're from LA, you don't really have the desire to leave. Most people do not want to leave Los Angeles. And so my mother and my boyfriend at the time both brought up Tuskegee University. And there was a woman in the Career Center that had a daughter at the time that went to Tuskegee, and I went to talk to her. My boyfriend told me about her. Shout out to him. And she made one phone call and I got in. And so the reason why I chose Tuskegee was because I wanted to dance for the band. And yes, I could have did that at a predominantly white institute, but it's not the same. And I didn't get the experience that you all got that grew up in the South. The only thing that I seen that helped me understand what y'all were experiencing in the South was drumline. I was sold. I'm like, I want to be the next Zoe. And so fast forward, that was one of the main reasons why I chose Tuskegee. And then I wanted to be a vet. So I was like, they have a vet school. And I was like, you know what? This is it. Because there's no other vet school that is Black owned. Tuskegee is the only vet school that is Black owned. And they graduate 75% of the BIPOC veterinarians. And so those were the two main reasons. And I didn't visit Tuskegee, so I had no idea what to expect until that first day I arrived. But I am truly grateful and thankful that I was guided to this divine and sacred place. I call it a vortex, and I wouldn't change.
I love it. Listen, so you're from Los Angeles, California, and one of the things that we talk about as HBCU supporters is how to really get the HBCU brand out there to places where HBCUs aren't. Like, there were HBCUs in California, but there's the things that happened and that are the reason why those don't exist anymore. But we always talk about, like, hey, how can we get folks in California and out west to really be entrenched, especially in Southern HBCU culture? Like, you talked about drumline and how media was able to get out there to you, right? But we sort of don't have a lot of that now, because first they canceled the quad. Don't get me started on that. All right, we put about talk for 2 hours. Okay, talk about canceling the quad. All right, but like, we could add that. But like, it just, in your opinion, as an alumna that is from California, how do we reach students that are in California to let them know about HBCU life? Or is that already happening enough in California?
In my opinion, it's already happening because I'm from there. So when you're not, you don't know what's going on. So let me educate you all. When I was in high school, recruiters from HBCUs came. And so they are going to those high schools to recruit us. And I feel like they're doing more now because my little brother is at Grambling University and he's 18. This is his freshman year. And there was an HBCU combine this year. I didn't know that existed. And so there's a lot of things that are happening that we don't know about. But I believe that there are so many people thinking about those African Americans in California or in other places where there aren't HBCUs. And so I'm truly grateful for all of those people that thought about us, right? Because I wouldn't have been at Tuskegee if it wasn't for people that told me about it. And so it's all about exposure. And I do think that another thing that the HBCU alumni can do is just share their stories, right? That's a great way when you are from a place like Los Angeles. So when I go back, I'm always talking about Tuskegee and how it changed my life. And so I think that that is another way, continuing to share your story. But there's a Tuskegee alumni chapter in LA. And there are so many people a part of it, hundreds of people. We have picnics and just toy drives and so many other events. And so that's another way to educate and expose people about not just Tuskegee, but all of the other great HBCUs that offer things that no PWI can offer. Because I tell people, one of the things is homecoming. I know for a fact white people do not go back to their alma mater and experience what we do for homecoming. It feels like a family reunion and just the beauty of being surrounded by Black excellence too, just highlighting that. And there are so many people that I have met in the South that I'll say taught me the importance of the pride of the swift growing South. That's what we say at Tuskegee, right? Because my great grandparents, they left the South, migrated to Chicago, then migrated to LA. So nobody really talked about the South in a positive way. They ran from the South, ran from the land. And so it was just beautiful to be surrounded by all of these Southern people that educated me and helped me see the beauty. And so I get to go to LA and tell them about the beauty of the South, not just, HBCUs, but just the beauty of the Black Belt region.
I love that. So let me ask you this before we go year by year really quickly, right? So one thing I always ask for folks that aren't from the area that their HBCU is in when we do these interviews is what was it like culturally? Because there has to be like a culture shock. Because I know from up north to down south, it's really wild because like for what I understand up north, they real mean. Okay, they're just real mean.
It's cold. Makes sense.
They real because like you ask like, hey, so what's the difference? You came from New York to Alabama to go to Tuskegee. What was it? Oh, they said good morning. I'm like, what? They say good morning, y'all. Like, that might why y'all mad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they say like they were looking at me crazy. I'm like, they were looking about to speak to you. They want to see if you know what I'm saying? So it's a little bit different. So what is it like coming from California to like a really southern one of the hubs of the South, like Alabama? Like, what was that like?
The culture shock is honestly hard to explain to people because when you are from a place. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Mm-hmm.
So
I can hear you.
When you are from a place like LA, it depends on where you're from. We have everything. We have everything. Nothing closes. So I can go to Disneyland year round. We have Big Bear. So I can go to the snow year round. I can go to the beach year round. You give me everything that you can think of. I had. And so moving to Tuskegee, there's nothing here, honestly. It's the rural South. I never heard of a grocery store called Piggly Wiggly before I came here. Right. There was just so many things that I experienced. Even our club, it was a hole in the wall. Right. But the funnest club ever. But just that 360, literally going from having everything to having nothing, but then realizing the beauty of imagination. Right? We had to be innovative. We had to be creative. And so I think that's one of the things that I enjoyed the most, because if you are in Los Angeles, you're not going to be as innovative. You're going to be like, let's go here and let's go there. But we had dorm wars, and we had, water balloon fights all over Tuskegee, not just on campus. People will be at the Dollar Tree, and then, they're throwing water balloons at you. And just so the unity, the collective synergy, because when you go to places in the South, they remember you. They remember you. They remember your name. And like you said, the greetings, the hospitality. I think that was one of the things that was the strangest to me, because I was not raised to speak to everyone. Right? And so when people were speaking to me, I'm like, what do they want? I thought everybody had an alternative motive. And so I would tell them, take a picture, it lasts longer. I said a lot of things because people were looking at me, or they just wanted to be kind, that's all, and uplift me. And I was a very mean girl at that time. I was 18, so I forgive myself. But yes, that probably was the strangest thing that I dealt with. But now I've adopted their ways, and I'm always like, greetings, how you doing? How's your mom? And so it's just divine to see the transition and the transformation, just being in an environment with these people that just exude unconditional love. And coming from a place like LA, it may not be as cold as, New York, Chicago, but it's still cold. It's still cold, when it comes to the family dynamic, the village dynamic, right? It's more of an individualism dynamic. But in the South, I feel like all of these people are my family. And so, yes, I'm truly grateful that I came here, because of the transformation of my heart, my soul, and the renewal of my mind.
Okay, so I got to ask you this. So you got to walk me through when you told someone, take a picture, it'll last longer. Real quick. Okay, you got to, because was it like, because in my mind, okay, it got to be a guy. Was it a guy that said good morning? Like, was it? Because
of course.
Because that's what you say to a guy. Because you wouldn't say it just another girl. Like, that was a guy. Like, he's like, good morning. Take a picture. It'll last longer. He's like, I was just saying good morning.
Whoa! Take a deep breath. Like, did you eat today? I just slept last night.
Okay, you gotta paint the picture for us. So was it like in the morning you walk into the caf? Is it you walk in the...
What? I don't even recall, because I said it so many times. I think that was my favorite thing to say to people.
What?
Yes.
What the...
Where are you from? Are you from the South?
I'm from Georgia, Macon, Georgia.
Of course you are.
Hospitable. What? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
For sure. And see, you don't remember what I'm gonna do. I'm asking one of them guys. like, what was it like when she said that? How did you feel? He remembers that to this day.
Put yourself in his shoes.
No. See, here's the thing. The thing for me, when it comes to folks, see, I be reading energy. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times for me, if I see somebody down on their phone, or they say they want to talk to, cool, I'm moving on. But if it's a situation they walk in, they look over to you, good morning, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're a student leader, because a lot of the conception I know that I had to wrestle with sometimes is like, man, Randall's done all these different things. He got HBCU Pulse. He's writing these books. He's stuck up. No, I'm not. I'm the farthest thing from stuck up. And people would tell me that, like, Randall, you so cool. I thought you doing all this different stuff. You were stuck up. Like, how would you think that? Like, what in the world? Like, what would make you think that? I'm the furthest thing from stuck up. As a matter of fact, I'm the opposite. Okay, you want to talk about it? Okay, you know what I'm saying? So, like, that's how I would approach it. But if that was me, I'm not even gonna lie. I probably, like, what I probably would have done where I'm at in my life. When you said take a picture, it'll last long, I would take out my phone and say, got it. Like,
and I would have laughed, and I probably would have been like, you know what? What's your name? That would have made me want to talk to you because of the humor, the courage, the bravery, the boldness. And one thing that I will say, my little brother said, Jonice, or he calls me sister. He said, sister, I don't really like Southern girls. He said, they can't take a joke. But what he was really saying was, I like aggressive women because I'm used to these women from LA. We may not be aggressive like the New York women, but I feel like we're aggressive, but then with a little hint of warmth. It's a little warmer, but still aggressive and assertive.
Well, I have to go. Like, I've never been to California. Like, I gotta go one time. Yeah, clearly, because I gotta see the difference. Because I'm like, Southern women are amazing. Like especially like when, like, it's a situation in which they're raised like how you're raised down south. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, we speak, we're gregarious, like, but it's situation where it's situational. We just don't speak to everybody now. Because see, that's the misconception. Because see, it's a situation where it's like, if someone don't want to speak, or if you don't rock with them, you don't speak. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Now, granted, in New York, from what I gather, if you see somebody you don't like, it's on sight. Okay, that's what I got from New York. New York is just like, oh, I don't like you, let's fight. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that down here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's like that in LA. It's not like that down here. But still, but that's like that in the hood.
It definitely is.
Okay.
You know,
wait a minute now.
They gonna press you. Where you from? Okay, you can't wear certain colors. You can't wear certain hats.
Well, I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. It's like that in the South too, because I was with my mom. We went to like, I think what, a Dollar General in the hood, had on a blue shirt. It said HBCUs do it better, from Tones and Metal, and my girl Ashley. And my mom said, get in the car, Rand. I'm like, why? What's going on? You got on a blue shirt. I'm like, yo, get on.
Mom, we're in Georgia.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Because Macon is something else. We might not be California, but you know.
They're fake blood, fake Crips.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord. See, they're not gonna come find you. They're not gonna come find you. They gonna find where I'm at. Okay. See, this is why we talk about you being about the Crips and Paparazzi. Because see, they're gonna come find me. Oh, they're not gonna come find you. Okay. Like,
I did want to add. So now I say I'm from Cali, Bama, Atlanta.
I like that.
I like that, huh?
It's almost like Drake.
Houston, Atlanta, Vegas.
Yeah, I was about to say Houston, Atlanta. Okay, all right. Listen, that's a location. All right.
You can eat, because I'm a little bit of Alabamian now, and then I moved to Atlanta, but I hung around a lot of Atlanteans, so they, just taught me certain things. So I adopted the culture. One of my favorite words, because we said low key, and then the Atlanteans was like, oh, we say slick. And so it's cool to like go to HBCU and then you can just adopt people's words or just, the culture.
Yeah. And listen, and like,
definitely love Atlanta. Are you from Atlanta or are you from Georgia?
Yeah, don't get me started on that, because Macon is its own city. Okay. Macon is its own city. I will never forget. I was watching, I think it was Georgia. It was a football game, and the commentator, because it was Jake Fromm's from Warner Robins, because you got Middle Georgia, Macon, Fort Valley, Perry, Warner Robins, Byron, Millersville. So it's almost like its own Atlanta to a point. It's not like one city. It's just like, hey, it's multiple cities.
Right.
So I'm listening, and he says, Jake from Warner Robins, Georgia, a suburb of Atlanta. Warner Robins is 2 hours away from it. How can it be a suburb 2 hours away? That stuck with me. Like how the guy you said take a picture lasts longer. That stuck with me. You know what I'm saying? Him saying that. You know what I mean? So don't get me started on that, because when Amaretta said all these cities are not Atlanta, I'm glad she didn't say make it, because we don't try to be. Let's not anymore. Okay, like not anymore. Like I be honest, not anymore. Because we, you know,
back in the day.
When I was in 6th grade, I'd be,
you know, it easy to just be like, I'm from Atlanta.
Yeah, it's 6th grade, but then I started realizing, like, you know, what we had in Macon. I was like,
yes, rep your city.
You know, like that. Yeah. Well, I can't rep my city now. You got like, they got a green light on me. They got a green light on me.
There's a lot of amazing things about Macon.
Yeah, oh no, for sure. It definitely is. But I want to transition into your time in the Crimson Piperettes. So let's talk about that real quick, right? So tell me your favorite. Before let's start from this. We're gonna talk about the favorite moment. But tell me how you got involved in that, because you came to Tuskegee to dance, right? So tell me how you got involved in the Crimson Piperettes.
Okay, so my senior year of high school, that was my first time dancing for the band. And so I told y'all, you know, a little bit about me, sing drumline. And so then when I got to Tuskegee, I was not prepared. Not prepared at all. I actually went a day late to tryouts. And I was like standing at the window, looking in, nervous, afraid to go in. And then Sherry, she's an alumni, and she helps the Piperettes still to this day. I love her infinitely. She's seen me peeking through the window and came and got me. And the rest was history. And so I danced for 3 years, and I wouldn't have stayed at Tuskegee if it was not for the Marching Crimson Piper Band. Because one, the culture shock. And so there was a lot of people that came here from California. We have a Cali club at Tuskegee. So the culture shock will make you want to move back home. And so the band grounded me and anchored me. And that is why I have the pride that I do now for the South, because of the band. And I still remember majority of the stands routines. That is how much I loved being a part of this Marching Crimson Piper band. I truly am just grateful and thankful that I came when I did, because of multiple reasons. Lynn Thompson, who was my coach, she was the coach for 40 years. The band director, Warren Duncan, the director for 40 years. And so I got the opportunity to experience their brilliance, their wisdom, and absorb all of that love, because they were like, you know, the grandma and the grandpa at that, you know, age. And so it was also a sacred experience, because when you are working with them when they're a little older, they aren't as strict. They were still strict though. Especially the band director. Ooh, he used to definitely hold me accountable all the time, because I was always late. I remember one time he called me out in front of the whole band. It's like, why are you late? And I brought up my mama. I said, because my mama's always late. So that's why I don't know how to be on time. But yes, loved the accountability and just how much they empowered us. And so it was truly a divine experience also to be a part of the band at an HBCU at that time, because it teaches you unity. And in our communities, unity is in the word community. Let me add that.
Right.
We aren't united. So honestly, we can't even call it a community. And so that is one of the things that I was taught being in the band at that time. I pray that they're still teaching that now, but that is what they taught me, how to unite with my people. And I think that is what not just the band does, but sports and a lot of other extracurricular activities. They teach us how to unite. But if you just go to HBCU and you don't do any extracurricular activities, it's harder to learn that in our generation. And so I am, yes, just in awe when I reflect on my experience, because it's something that I will never be able to experience again. Other than, alumni, band, but it will never be the same, right? Being, in school, dancing, every Saturday, band practice Monday through Friday, having to try out for the field every Thursday. Right. We had to try out every game to make the field, or you would get cut.
Wow. Nobody's
exactly.
safe.
People don't know that. People don't know that.
did.
I only set out one game my freshman year. Never again. Because you don't want to experience that. They see you holding the bags. That's what you're doing when you get cut, right? You're holding the bags. And it's like, I'm grateful to be able to help, but I really want to be dancing in the stands on the field, And so, yes, I know that you asked what was one of my favorite.
Before we get there, I gotta sit on what you just said, okay? Because it's like you got cut. You would get cut. You have the opportunity to get cut. Like, is this American Idol? Jesus Christ! Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you end up cutting somebody that can really dance like Jennifer Hudson. You know what I'm saying? Like, golly, like so even if you're a senior, you can get cut and you have to carry the bags. Say they do a movie on you. Like, golly, they do a movie on y'all. Like, golly. That'll get a lot of folks California to come.
It's like that, honestly. I do. I don't know if they're still doing that now, but that's what we did. But honestly, it makes you work harder. Yeah. It makes you work harder because you never want to experience that again because of how much you love dancing. It was more about that than the humiliation. So I love dancing. This is my opportunity, right? To not just dance, but also share this art with hundreds, thousands of people, right? And so that's why it was so hurtful.
I can imagine. Like, listen, that I guess one thing you learned is don't get comfortable. Like, your spot is not secure. Like, golly, sheesh. Like, y'all worse than the football team, because at the very least, them boys know at the very they'll be on the bench. They can get opportunity to get, like, they don't get cut. At the very least, they'll know I'll be on the bench. You know what I'm saying? Like, exactly. and then if the quarterback get injured, I'm gonna come in. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the very least, but it's like, hey, listen, she not getting injured. I'm carrying these bags. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's not a bad. And then if she do get injured, the coach probably still not gonna put me in because they're gonna teach me a lesson. I'm like, they just gonna be just one less person dancing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's something else. But let me ask you this then. Let me ask you this. Yeah. So let's talk about the moments where folks weren't cut. Okay, let's talk about your favorite moment. Okay, let's talk about moments where y'all weren't cut. Favorite moment from being on the dance team, Crimson Piperettes. Like, talk to me.
My favorite moment. I would have to say there's so many moments. Okay. So we get the opportunity to march in the parade for Mardi Gras in Mobile. And a lot of people don't know that's where Mardi Gras was founded. It originated in Mobile, Alabama. And so, as a freshman, one, never been to New Orleans, right? Never heard of Mardi Gras. So to experience it like that, like I'm a part of it, definitely a completely different experience actually being a part of the parade. But I believe that that was one of my favorite experiences, and it rained. So imagine dancing in the rain. And so some people probably wouldn't love it, but I loved it, probably because I'm Native and we do rain dances and fire dances. You know, Africans do the same, and I'm African and Native American. But I think that is another reason why I truly love that experience, because how many experiences do we get to dance in the rain? Usually we're trying to run to the car, run in the house, you know. So that probably was one of the most monumental moments, to be able to dance in the rain, dance, you know, in that Mardi Gras parade, and just experience the camaraderie, just everyone yelling and cheering and calling us tigerettes instead of piperettes, because we wear a tiger suit. So I get it, Grandma, you know, it makes sense to call us a tigerette. But that probably was one of my favorite experiences. And then you're also close to the people, right? In the parade. Versus me being on the field or in the stands, you know, I don't always get to like interact with the people, but I was able to like smile at them and kind of like, you know, dance with them. And I could really feel the energy of the crowd. And so you got to feed off of that energy. And yes, you feel it at a football game, but we went to so many football games. And so that experience was just so unique. And it truly fed my soul.
You know what's so crazy is you were telling the story, like, 'cause you say you watched Drumline. Drumline made you want to, want to come to HBCU. You remember that part in Drumline where like Devin makes the band, and like they have the montage of them working, and then they're in the rain with like the drumsticks, and this thing like cat.
Yeah!
That was y'all. Like y'all were Drumline characters. You were Zoe Saldana at that point. Like y'all doing stuff doing the movie. Like that's a movie scene. Like
no, that was definitely a movie scene. Should have been recorded.
Did y'all record it?
No, because back then, that was 2011. And so they didn't record as much as they do now. You know, they have so many videos now. They got rails, and they are really lucky. We got our memories though.
Yeah.
We have our memories, but yeah, they are definitely being recorded all the time nowadays. But no, we're living in the moment, not trying to record everything. But that's honestly one of the things that I love the most about going to school when I did, because that was literally when Instagram came out, 2011 or 2012, when I was 18, 19, right? And so when I'm in the club now, we're not on our phones, right? We were truly enjoying the club or enjoying the moment, trying to record everything. But it would have been nice to have a, videographer record it.
I mean, the only thing videographer is the key word, because see, folks be recording it with their phones now because iPhones have amazing quality, and some Androids do too. Some Androids do too. I'm not gonna lie to you.
They do.
Now my mom, she thinks her phone has good quality. Okay, not better than an iPhone. All right, it's new. Not better than an iPhone though. But at the same time,
iPhone will always debate any day. Like our quality is better. Sorry, even if we don't know what kind of Android you got, I don't even want to see it. I don't need to see it to believe it.
Now wait, that one that like you take a picture, you take multiple pictures, that makes you smile. Nah, that was cold. Nah, I ain't gonna lie to you. You say have you seen the commercials?
I have not. I rarely
It's
watch TV.
okay, yeah. So listen, when you eventually see it in person, you gonna think you in the future, okay? Because like it is something else. Because you take a picture, like has you take multiple pictures, and then like it'll use the picture, the best picture. Like you take a picture smiling, then you don't smile in the last one. You think, okay, that's the best picture. It's gonna put your face on that picture. Yeah. At least that's how I say it on TV show on new Google phone on TV on like the commercials. So yeah, like don't let it pull that out on you. Whereas like look, the iPhone do this. Like no,
Yeah,
like,
if they pull that out, I'm gonna be like, you know what, you won. You won.
no, they didn't win. They just got their own. Okay.
Argument. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like no, the iPhone can't do that, but the iPhone's still better.
Yeah, I'm like to tell them that I can take the picture on the iPhone. I can go to Photoshop and do that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
You know, it's gonna take an extra step, but we can do that. And now, real quick before we talk about your chapter in the book, let me just tell you how deep I am into the Apple thing. I got my Apple Watch right here. You feel? I just got my Apple Watch. I feel so fancy. I feel so healthy. Okay, you know what I'm saying? We're making it happen.
I am not on the Apple Watch wave.
I feel it because I wasn't either. My brother wanted one, and he would just talk about it, and I'm like, let me look into it because I was like, why do I have? Because if I was back in school, I'm like, you know what, I probably would because I moved around a lot. I don't move around as much anymore, but I'm like, okay. Let me look into it. And what really sold me was the Fitness Plus. That's what sold me. But then I get it, and I'm like, you know what? I have a lot of business texts. A lot of folks call me. Sometimes my phone doesn't ring at all because it's broken now. So it would just come to my wrist. I'm like, okay, so now let me pick up the phone. Let me respond to this text message, and I can do a voice text message on the Apple Watch. So it makes it way more convenient. You got to always pull out your phone. So I endorse it. Okay, so that means James Fortune and Apple got to cut me a check.
Okay,
so yeah,
I'm going to listen to Forgive Me and. My brother gave me his old Apple Watch. I think I'm just not used to also wearing watches. You're a man, so you probably are used to wearing a watch. So it's something that you also have to get used to putting on.
Yeah.
Right.
I
think that's what it is. And so thank you for the endorsement. Because I'm going to look into it, especially because I am a farmer. And so I think it would make it easy. For me, when I'm on my farm, because no, I do not have my phone in my hand, and majority of the time my hands are dirty. That's why I rarely have nails, right? And so
exactly, and I think that will help. Yeah, I think it will because like your phone has to be by you because if it's not by you, it's not going to connect. But if it's by you and like it's somewhere in the vicinity, you'll be able to get that message. You don't even got to really touch it for real. You might have to touch the button. You got to touch for real. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you see. But there's the thing. So James Fortune, okay, he getting an extra listener. Okay, the Apple Watch can get an extra user, but we got to get someone to buy the book, the HBCU experience, HBCU edition, because everybody getting money here. But like we got to make sure the book gets sold. Okay, at this point, you know what I'm saying? Because they come in check for real. All right, they listen. Because Apple got them
check is coming soon.
No.
I affirm it. Let's manifest.
Okay, affirm it. Yeah, affirm. Maybe not from Apple, but from somewhere. Okay.
As you ask it, you
that's right.
Receive it.
That's right. Listen, that's right. Listen. So let's talk about your chapter in the book, the HBCU Experience, the HBCU Dance Edition. Really special book because it's such a special genre of the HBCU experience. We talk about Greek life all the time when it comes to HBCU life. We talk about band life all the time when folks are talking about Greek life. We talk about sports in the regards of football and basketball, but dance and cheerleading, those are sports as well. So I want you to tell us what your chapter in the book is about. Not too much, just a little bit of a snippet.
I gave you all a little bit of snippet already, but what I will say is the dancers are not recognized enough, right? Or even appreciated or cherished. At Tuskegee, we didn't get scholarships in the past. I need to ask what they're doing now, but we did not get scholarships. And so you had to be dedicated and committed and truly passionate and love the art of dance in order to dedicate that time and energy and also money, right? And so that is one thing that I talk about in the book, about that dedication that I had to have, especially as a full-time animal science student that also had a work study job at the farm at 19. So a lot of people actually did not know that this Piperette was working at the farm. And so that type of dedication to not get a scholarship, and you may be struggling, right, to pay for school at that time. And there may be other things that are going on in your life, but just being surrounded by all of these women that loved dancing. Because when you think about it, if the football players did not get a scholarship, how many football players would be on the team?
Yeah.
Baseball, soccer, any of them. How many
Makes sense.
people? How many people? But if you think about the dancers or even the flag, I want to call them women because we say flag girls.
Yeah.
We truly love what we did and still love what we do, right? Because I still dance. And so that is what I elaborate in the book, because a lot of people did not know that we weren't getting scholarships, right? And that we were investing all of that time and energy just because we truly loved to be a part of the band, be a part of that community, that village. And it also helps you in so many different ways mentally, right? Because when you have a hobby that you love, you are going to be mentally healthier than people with no hobbies, especially as an adult. There are so many adults that do not have one hobby. They just go to work, just do it, the average mediocre person does, but just have one hobby. And working out is also a hobby, because eventually you will love working out if it becomes a hobby. But the people that don't love it, it's like a chore. And so mentally, it definitely assisted me being 2,000 miles away, not having family in the South, so it kept me grounded. It kept me focused. And also emotionally, I felt loved. I felt supported. I felt valued. I felt like I belonged to a tribe, right? Everybody loves to feel a part of a tribe or a village or a community. And so definitely nurtured my heart when I needed it the most, because people don't always think about that, moving away at 18, that can be challenging.
I feel
And
that.
I will also say that it helped me spiritually. Of course, we know it helps physically, so I don't have to talk about that. But spiritually, it helped me because, one, dance is something that Black people do naturally, right? When the food come to our table, we're gonna be like, hey, the food, right? We're just always dancing. It's a part of our culture. So spiritually, it keeps me connected to my ancestors, to my roots. And so I would say that a lot of people may not think about it on that level, but I'm glad I can share my perspective to help people broaden their horizon and expand their consciousness to think about how things help them mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically.
I love it. I love it. So I got to ask you like one last question before we get to social media. So in the chapter, okay, I think you know where I'm going with this. Like, are you going to describe like how you did the guy where's a text like take a picture, it lasts longer. I think that needs to be the preface at this point. The preface to you know how a book will start where like it starts with action. It's like it's like I was walking to the cab, and it was a guy that said good morning. And I looked at him and I said, take a picture. It'll last longer. He stood there looking in awe. And he stood there for a few seconds. I looked back, he was still standing there. But yeah, then he walked away. Okay.
Shut up, look at me. He was frozen. Just stuck.
Stuck like I'm telling you. That I'm telling you.
Hated LA girls from now.
I'll tell you what that guy probably do. So when he come on the radio, he turn off the radio. I'm telling you, oh, I'm good. I'm good. He see a Lakers game, he hate LeBron James. I'm telling you,
I apologize to all of the men that had to experience me when I was vibrating at a low frequency.
But listen, but listen, what we learned at the beginning of the interview, James Fortune, I forgive me. Okay, there we go. Like,
I forgive me. I forgive the 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Oh, God.
Yeah. All right, the song ain't but that long now.
The hospitality started to sprout because the seed planted. Mm-hmm. That hospitable seed was planted as soon as I got here, but I was suppressing it. I didn't want it to sprout, but it has sprouted and it's blooming and it's flourishing. And I honestly think that is one of the things that LA needs, or, you know, New York needs, or just certain cities that have created that culture, not to speak, not to greet, not to just uplift with a smile. You know, I love the South so much, and that's why I live here for the third time. I live in Tuskegee for the third time, but I lived in Atlanta. I lived in Florida. I prefer the South because of how warm and welcoming it is. You don't know those people, but they make you feel like you are their family. You know.
Well, let me just say this before we go. If you ask somebody from Florida they're the South, they'll say no, we the East Coast. So listen, bro, you know, so and they know they the most southern state.
That is definitely the South.
Like, but they said no, we East Coast, we got our own culture. No, y'all are the South. Like, y'all are definitely the South. Y'all like y'all just music sound a little bit different. Okay, I just let them know that sometimes. But listen, it was amazing speaking to you. I had a lot of fun in this interview. Oh my God, this is one of my most favorite interviews because we just had a lot of fun. So before
that's because of you. You are a phenomenal, remarkable, marvelous, magnificent man.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Continue to shine brightly because that's what you are doing.
Thank you. So I appreciate you. This is like listen, now I'm gonna go watch this Lakers game, okay? Because I'm not him. Okay, I'm gonna watch this Lakers game. Hope LeBron win. Okay, but outside of that, where can we find you on social media and how can we support you?
Yes. Okay. So my Instagram is Watts, WATTS, Jonice, JONICE. And Facebook, you can just type in my first and last name. People want to type in Farmer Base so bad, but Jonice is the brand. Farmer Bay is just a nickname. And so that is how you can find me. Websites, YouTube channel, all of those things coming soon. One of the things that I like to tell people is I surrendered and became obedient. So God said, focus on growing you first before you start your farm. But I moved back to Tuskegee 4 months ago to start it because I put a lot of time and energy, and I invest a lot of money into investing in my evolution, right? Invest in your evolution. And then everything becomes effortless.
I love it. I love it. Listen, drop the mic right there. Listen, Jonice Watts, we appreciate you. This was amazing. Cannot wait to read your chapter, and we definitely have to tap in everything that you're doing. But thank you so much for coming on.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
I have a great night.
You as well. Peace.
Like what you hear?
Yeah.
Subscribe to HBCU Pulse Radio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, head to hbcupulse.com to stay up to date on what's going on in the HBCU community. Thank you for listening to HBCU Pulse Radio.